Guys, welcome to this live workshop on, it's all about live classes, live webinars, how we can take payments for it. So we're going to jump straight in. I've got this PDF and you can see here running the lives. So I'm just going to run through a few things here. So first of all, I want to do an analysis of the live and webinar streams. So what they are, what they can be used for, what we expect them to be used for. So for live classes only allow registered users of the course to attend. The exception is if you check the registered users checkbox, in which case anyone registered on the site can attend. You can also set a maximum number of seats or a minimum number of seats. So live classes allow you two options. One, you can pick from a course that you've got, so you can just have students from that course attend the live, or registered users, people that have just registered on your site for any courses, or they've just registered on your site. So the next one we've got is live webinars. Now we expect live webinars really is kind of like for anyone who signs up for them can join. However, again, you can set a minimum or a maximum number of seats. Okay. So next we have live streams, pretty self-evident live streams. Live streams are used to stream to both Facebook and YouTube. They can also be streamed to Facebook events and YouTube events as well. Now you could also use a third-party app like StreamYard or Restream to stream to multiple sources as well, using the custom settings inside of Zoom once you launch. Okay, so let's have a think about the usage of these different options. So for live classes can be used to hold one-to-one sessions. You could also use them to run workshops for a membership site as well. So of course, live classes, you can pick the courses that people can attend. So if you've got a membership site, you just pitch the membership site, and then you could run live workshops inside of your membership site and your members would have access. So work in conjunction with a calendar to book private sessions as well. So you could set up a calendar and then externally run things like Zoom. If you've got a pro account, you could run it in from a calendar then. So that's what live classes are all about. So live webinars run live webinars to increase subscription leads and also build trust in order to drive sales. Webinars could also be used for private sessions as well. So you do have that option. You know, you can again limit the amount of number of seats for a webinar as well. So you could use it for that, but we expect live classes to be used for that sort of thing. And nextly, we have live streams. So you can do weekly, monthly, daily streams for free to your Facebook or YouTube channel to build engagement and market your courses, build value in these to increase subscription to your social outlets. So these are important things to bear in mind when you're running these lives and knowing and realizing the options you have. Now, by no means are these options the only options that you could have. So, you know, you can just use your imagination, work with a system that you're already using, but these are the common ones, let's say. So let's move on to this. So this is a live class example sheet that I have here, and this is as follows.
Yeah, like I was saying in the first one, so you've got live classes here and they go into the course access page. So you can add those each week and sort of turn it into a membership site. Then number two, we've got live one-to-one sessions. So you could have a limit per session. So you could set up a live class and you can limit it to one. So that way you could stop other people getting into it, but you can set it up as just for that person. So you can do they can take payment, one-to-one session, then you can have another one. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how we can set up a live class, and we can quickly add more at the dates that you want to run live sessions. And when people go in there, if it's not available because it's been booked already, then you can either remove it or they won't be able to book that one. So they have to book the next one. So we're going to look at that later. So number three is, as I mentioned, calendar integration. And that is where you've got a calendar on the course access page, and they can click to book. And the calendar, because most calendars have automations built into them, so you can then send an email out to them. Now, it would be up to you whether you want to set up the live inside Zenler or if you've already got like a Zoom Pro account, I don't want to mention that you need a Pro account because you don't. But if you've got a Pro account, then you can actually set up a link already. With the Zenler system, you kind of don't get that link until you launch the live. So there's a big thing there to think about. But if you've already got Zoom Pro and you've already got a calendar system, things should be seamless, and you're basically just using Zenler at that point to take a payment. Okay, register them on there and for them to book through the calendar. So hopefully that's clear. We're going to go through it anyway. So prospects book by calendar, and you set up one-to-one and send them a link. So that's it. So let's go through the options or the details that we've got inside of each of the live class and the live webinar. So the first one is obviously you can set a name for your live class. Yeah, you can set the time and the time zone. You can change the URL of the register page, and we're going to go through this, so don't worry. We're going to set the maximum amount of 10 attendees. You can set that. You can set the duration. You've got 3 duration settings. We'll look at these in a minute, but they're called normal, extended, or super extended sessions. Okay, you can attend registered users of the site or enrolled in a course. So those who can attend are either registered on the site or they're enrolled in a course that you pick. So you can make the class secret. Now this is a new thing, and we can make the class secret and it won't show in the new dynamic block that we've got for live classes and live webinars. So I'll be showing you that. Now, live webinars, slightly different. It's everything that live classes have got, except a couple of things that it hasn't, which is you can't pick a course and those sort of things. So you can set the name of the webinar, set the time zone, change the URL, set the maximum number of attendees, set the duration, and you can make the class secret. And obviously you can set a password for these as well. So if you don't want it to be auto generated, then the password can be set by you as well, which can be good because you might want to set a password and give it to them. So number 3 here, we have live class and live webinars for both of them. On all webinars and classes have pages set up. So when you create the live, it will set up a series of pages, but are based on the template that you pick. So automations are also there. So we have full automations. Remember last week we were talking about all the automations, and we've covered it a few times in different areas. We did it quite a lot on forms and funnels and these sort of things. Well, you have full automations with lives, okay? So that's all built into it. So with that done, I'm going to just turn off the share here. I'm going to put I should have done this. I'm going to allow you to unmute yourselves. So are we clear on what I've talked about so far? Now, don't have to be crystal clear because I'm going to actually go through and show you some examples of what I've done and also some speed saving tips as well. But are you all clear on what I've talked about so far? I've given you that download so you can sort of look at that and see later. You know, you can actually go through it. So any questions? We're all good. Excellent. Clear so far. Good. All right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about the screen share. Okay. I'm going to jump back into screen share again. You can unmute yourself. So if I forget to screen share or do something stupid, shout at me. Going to come to the last page here. And this is the page to use for any paid live event. So as I was saying earlier, this is where I was talking about the course access page being prime for where you put things. So our goal here is to take a payment. So for a live. So what we want to do is we're still going to send them through the sales page. We're still going to take them through the checkout, and they're also going to then revert to the thank you page. Now, the thank you page is a really weird one because this page appears once after checkout only. It only appears once. You can't go back to it later, even if you've bought the course. So that URL that you've got, it doesn't resolve. It goes back. Yeah. So you can only get in there once. So the only page that really is useful for us to keep the content in is the course access page. Now, a lot of people have done this where they've actually put lots of stuff. They've tied up the thank you page with the course access page. Then they've had trouble because they can't get into the thank you page. So the only thing you should think about is that process, sales, checkout, thank you, is the process through to where you need to get to, which is the course access page. So inside that course access page, we can put lives in there. We could put the webinar blocks in there. You could put videos in there. You could do whatever you like. And of course, it's got the curriculum down the bottom. But because we don't want to run a curriculum with this, so how are we going to get rid of that? Well, it's really easy. We just delete the block. We don't put any content into the curriculum or course player. Now, the downside of that is there will be no progress of the student through it. But if you're doing one-offs or you've got a membership coming in, are you bothered about it? Not really. So you could put, you could also use both. So you could have your lives on there and run a curriculum. A case and example would be that you're running lives, but you're also giving things out like downloads. So you might put that into the curriculum section where they could then pull downloads or other information, other videos, these sort of things. Could be anything, PDFs, PowerPoint. So you might want to put something underneath it. And you can at any stage. So if we just say, right, we're going to start really simple, and it's always best to start simple. We're going to start with one live in there, get rid of the curriculum. I don't want to worry about that. Then 3 months down the line, you decide that you want to start adding content into curriculum. No problem. Fill it out and then drop the curriculum block back into the course access page, and that content is then readily available to them. So that is our goal. So if we actually look at what we're doing now, I'm going to jump to the page. Okay. Right. So this is our Surf Dude site, and this is the course that we worked on last time. So what I've done is I've just done a clone of this course for these. All right. Now, if you get stuck, let me know. And I'm going to ask you a question about the lives later, because I want to know whether you need me to walk you through setting up a live class or live webinar. So inside these, I just want to show you what's going on first, and then we can start talking if you need me to do extra stuff in here. So first one I'm going to jump into is going to be this live surf sessions workshop. So let's go in here, and we'll go to course details. You can see it's got the same as what we did to create a course, nothing special in here. Go to the curriculum, nothing in here. But I've just put the section, I've called it could be added later, could be added later. This won't show because there's no content in there, so it'll be a blank. So I'll go into the pages. This is the bit that we want to see. So with this particular one, we've got a sales page. So I'm just going to preview that just so you can see it. So here we go. So this is what it says, access to live sessions. So this case study is looking at that I want to run live sessions, a bit like exactly like I do for the Sunday lives. So I could say I could run a membership, £100 a month, and say that I'm running out Sunday live. So there'll be a new live every Sunday. Okay, so I can do that. So this is the idea behind it. So they'll run through the sales page and then they'll move on to the checkout page. Nothing special here, just, just that's it. Pretty easy. I haven't done a lot with it. Then we got the thank you page, which is there. So I've just changed the background from the other course. Took like maybe 5 minutes to do this. And the last one we have is the course access page. So let's have a look at this. So this has got the new block in, the live class block. Now we've got these lives all set up in here and they're ready to go. And it's got the date on here as well. So the only people that can book for this are people in this course. All right, that's it. Now you're going to notice, and I'm going to explain this in a minute, that we've got a course in here called Live Class Do Not Show. Pretend that we had a live class, but we didn't want to release it yet. how can we hide it from this dynamic block? And I'll just show you the block now. I'm going to go into edit mode inside here and show you. You'll also notice in there, no curriculum in there. The block was deleted out. All right, taking a bit of time today. Right, okay. So let me just take this block. Let me just delete it out. So that's the live classes. So the blocks in block down here, we've got webinar. These are for live webinars. These are the new blocks that we've just put in here last week. And here are the live classes. We have two different styles. So we have kind of a one column and then we have this three columns. So you can take this, drag it across. This is the course access page, remember that. And inside here, then it pops up like this. So all I did was on the other course access, I just removed the curriculum from the course section, which I don't even think is in here. I removed that curriculum. So let me just show you back here. Let me go into this. I'm going to go into this beginner's guide to surfing just to show you the curriculum page. Go into pages. Down here. And because it is a course access page, we can put whatever we like in there, you know. But this, what we're doing now when we're removing the curriculum block is what we're going to be doing later when we create membership style pages. And it'll all be clear because we'll actually be cross-linking courses inside the bundle to those pages. So we can make it really complex. Like this is the curriculum here. This is the course access page for the beginner's guide to surfing. So all I did was went in here and I just deleted it out. So it doesn't show any of the curriculum in there. Now we can add it later if we want to into here. So, but we're not going to do that at the moment. But getting back to these, you can see I've got 3 lives set up, but I don't want this one to show. And this is where what I mentioned earlier about making a course secret you can do. So let me jump back. I'm jumping around a lot, so there might be questions. Where did I go? But I don't mind. I'm going to go to lives now, and I'm going to go to live classes. And inside here, you're going to find that we have these set up. Notice, do not show. Do not show. Okay. So to make it so I can't show it, you got it. I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to go down to here and I'm going to make that secret. I'm going to click this and now that will not show on the page if I preview it. Let me save and preview. There we go, gone. So that course secret is really, really handy for not showing. Now, I was asking Rakesh about this because it is good that you can turn that off, but there might be a time where we want to have live classes or even live webinars set up, and we might want to put them into a category. So that block would be good if we could take that block and actually choose a category to only show specific lives or webinars from different areas. That to me will be key. I've mentioned it. They're working on these things, so this could happen. But at the moment, for this first stage, we have this make the live class secret, which is handy because you can work on a copy, you know, and make it secret and for it not to show on the site. So you can just work through the pages, make sure your automation's set up, and then it all works fine. So that is really handy for this. And this is what we have for this. So now I'm going to jump to the other version where I've got a calendar built into the system. So let's go to courses. And I know there's going to be questions because I'm jumping around a lot here, showing you a lot of stuff. But this is the calendar booking. This is not going to access any of those lives. It's for you to use it, the course access page, to marry up with your calendar system and for you to set up the lives. Whether you want to set them up in Zenler or whether you want to set them on a Pro Zoom account is up to you. So if I go into here, all I've got is under the pages and down to the course access page. Don't worry about these. They're exactly the same as the other one we just looked at. So if I just go into this, we're going to see a calendar in there. So I'll just preview it first to show you. And you can see inside here, hopefully it's going to show. There we go. We got a calendar. So inside here, people can go in and they can book their session, choose their time slot, confirm it, and give their details. Obviously, an email will go off to you. Then you get in touch with them and you set up your one-to-one session. But all of them are paid for. So as they come through the process, they're going to pay. They're going to register in this course, and then you can take it from there. So you see how we've used the course access page to give the information that we need for that live. So whether you've set up your own lives in sequence, or whether you've built a calendar into here and you use the calendar functionality, that's how we can use it. So we're breaking a course where you normally have the curriculum. We're getting rid of the curriculum and purely using this as a page. And this forms the basis of how we're going to do our membership pages, but it also forms the basis of if you were selling a digital download. So on this course access page, I could just have a digital download. I could have a PDF, a link to a PDF for logged in users. They could buy it, go through, download it, take a payment. That's it. Fine. You know, so you could, if you think about it, you can use any of these pages to put your content into there. Okay. And later on, when we do the membership, we're going to be doing multiple courses in one bundle and tying them up. It's almost like creating a mini site in there. At the moment, we're just doing one page because we're running this live class event, this live workshop event. So I know that's a lot to take on. So I'm again going to stop this and ask any questions. Have you got any questions?
Lois had one in the chat.
Is there? Are you all following? That's brilliant. Right. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Well done, guys. You probably know how to set up live. So this is what I want to ask you. Do you want me to show you how to set up a live? If I'm doing it, I just do one because live webinars and live classes is pretty much the same. So Tracy wants me to show her how to. Yes. Okay.
David, just a question on the lives. I thought I saw 5 lives set up, but only 4 showing up on the page.
Absolutely, John, you did. But that other live that you saw was secret.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for, I'm going to show you later when I'm showing the one-to-one sessions. So I'm going to turn that on and turn the others off. So show you how it works, but good one. Right, so I've got a lot of people saying yes. So I'm going to just show you. I'm also going to show you a really quick speed saving tip as well. So what is secret for? I've got Diane. Secret is for basically, only reason we've got secret is to stop it from appearing inside your live webinar or live class dynamic block. Remember that block that I put that was in the page? That's just so it doesn't show in there. Okay. You could still get to it. You could still send a link out to that webinar by going to the pages. Let me just share my screen. You could still share it. So if this, for instance, was, let me go into a live here and choose one of those classes like this one, do not show. If I sent this link here on the pages, if I sent this register link, people could still sign up for it. So it's quite good. If you were doing a private session, you could, and you didn't want it to show on the screen, you could still take that link and you could send it to someone and they could register through that. So the only place it doesn't let, the secret doesn't show is in the dynamic blocks. So in those blocks that I just showed you. Let me go back. Going to here. Into here, yeah? So it's those blocks, because this is being pulled from the live area, okay? It's only showing those, and the blocks that are not, the ones that are not shown is because I've ticked them with secret. As John mentioned, there was 5 in there. And that's because one of them is for a one-to-one session that I'm going to show you later in the thing. So it's a bit like Blue Peter. Like here's one that I did earlier. If you guys know Blue Peter, it's kind of an ongoing show where people prepare things in advance and show them. So that is it for that. So there has been asked questions like, how do you do live? How do you set it up? So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to try and do as much of this as I can in one session, but it might break into two. Just I don't know, because it's like, if I've got to show each of the things, then it's going to take longer. So what we'll do is we'll set up a live class. Now, the way we're setting a live class up is exactly the same way that we're setting a live interactive webinar, apart from with live interactive webinars, you don't do it for a course. Yeah, you don't pick them as a course. I'll show you that later, but the process is the same. So, and then I'll be showing you a speed saving tip to do with cloning these and producing these out. I did these really quick. It probably took me about maybe 10-12 minutes to do these, because I just flipped through cloning them, changed the name, and that was it. It was all done, because all the automations and everything you put in are cloned. This is key, but you might not have anything in there if you've never done one before. So think, am I using it for a live class? Do I want a kind of one-to-one session? Am I doing it as an open webinar? If I'm doing it as an open webinar and I just want to send a link out to people, then, or I just want it in the webinar block, which we've also got, which I'm going to show you in a minute. You've got to think, what am I using it for? Look at that PDF sheet, decide what you're using it for, and that will dictate whether you're going to set up a live class or a live webinar. If you need help with that, just PM me or put it on the Facebook group and I can go over it a bit more detail. So inside of the live classes we've got here, we have, you can see here, we have these two buttons, and this basically, if you've done previous webinars, they'll show. So if the date, I've got no previous ones, so they don't show. If I go upcoming, this is all the upcoming webinars, and it's all done by the date. Okay. So to create a new one, all you need to do is go create new live. And once we create the new live, we're starting the process. So one is, what we're going to call it, and we're just going to call this test webinar, test live. Yep, you can call it what you like. Make it descriptive. That's not very descriptive, but there we go. Next thing we're going to do in here is we're going to choose our time zone. So you can actually type in here. Lots of people go through like this. I was doing it for ages, going, where is it? Where is it? Where's London? Where's London? And you can actually just type in here like London, and there it is. And I can go click, and there we go. Now you say when. So when are we going to hold it? So what date? So let's say that we're going to hold it in June the 5th or the 6th. And then I'm going to say what time. So I'm going to go 12, actually maybe 1:30 p.m. You can change it to AM and PM here. Right, now, because we're running a live class, and remember our PDF, you've got those options in there. You can either pick people that are registered on the site, which is already automatically checked, or you can pick people enrolled in a course. So I've only got, well, I've got these sessions down here. So if I'm doing it for my live workshop sessions, I would pick here. Please note also, we have the pricing plans. Okay, so if someone's chosen maybe a payment plan and you've got a one-off plan, you could pick those. So you could say only people that have done the one-off and paid it in one go, or paid extra like an initial fee, get access. So you could turn off the payment plan for the ones you don't want and turn on the one for the one that you do want. So that can open up opportunities there. Yeah, so you can actually do it. So you could say, right, initial fee, you could put on there, if you want to take the bonus thing and then pay an initial fee of like £50 or something, then they get access maybe to 2 private sessions or something. So that could work. Yeah. So you've got enrolled in course, and then we've got maximum attendees. Now, remember what I said to you, you could put this at 1 if you wanted to. So if it's a one-off session, I think you can have a maximum with the pro plan. I think it's a maximum of 400 in here, a maximum attendees that you can have. And and then we have our duration. So under here, we have normal sessions and we have extended sessions. So this one that I'm running today, I've got it set on 2 hours, 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll be less than that, but that's what I've got it. It's a super extended lesson, but you can go up to 4 hours with it. You'll probably lose your voice. So I lose it after 2. So I think 4, unless you've got a co-host helping you, don't do 4. It's too much. And so you can just pick it in there. So you can pick whatever you like in there. So let's do 2 hours. I always go a little bit more, even though I run these for 2 hours, I just go up 2 hours 15. The reason I do that is it just gives me a little bit of overlap period. Like there could be a question come in last thing. It's really important that I answer it. So if I give myself a little bit of extra time, then I make sure I cover myself. So a lot of people, like if it's a 1 hour session, they'll put 1 hour. Don't do that. Do 1 hour, 15 minutes. All right. Just so you've got that little bit. They might turn up late, you know, so you're just covering it, making sure. Now under here, we have the thumbnail. This is our little thumbnails that are appearing here. So you set those up. You can see the size. It's given us 860 by 480 pixels. So you can just go and change that. So you can add that. So I've got some set up here. I just set up these. It's really handy to set up these little templates. I do this in Photoshop, but I just set these little templates up and then I can just go back to them, grab them. And let's do that do not show one and click open. So there to there, and I click crop and save. And there it is. So once you've filled out these things, then you then click the next button. So guys, are you okay with that? Do you understand that? So we've got some questions, I think, coming here. If you extend the time to give yourself a buffer, it is visible on the customer's calendar. E.g., you schedule it for 90 minutes. Yeah, it is, but don't worry about it. I mean, you said 60 minutes. That's when you're going to end it. You're giving yourself a buffer. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just a good thing to do in case people are late and those sort of things. But it's up to you if you want to set it the exact time. You might run into problems later or at some stage where someone comes in a bit later and then moans because they haven't got an hour's worth of your time. So be careful of that. All right. So
there's a question just above that about, does the session automatically end at the allotted time? And I said you get 15 minutes past.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it gives you a grace period of 15 minutes before the session and 15 minutes after grace period. But yes, it will stop. So be careful. That's why we always try to finish in the time before. And if we're running out, we wrap up really quickly, you know, just because it will just cut you off.
Yeah, there's no warning. There's no, you've got 2 minutes left or something, just boop.
No, I have a clock on my desk. You know, if I'm starting at a time, I've got the clock on the computer, but I have a little clock on my desk that's running down. So just in case I forget to look at the little clock in the corner, then I've got a big clock there. So if you're running a lot of these, I would suggest that you get that. You can even mount some of these clocks just below or just above the webcam, which can be quite good because you can see it. I mean, it's almost like looking at your life rolling away, but it does help for sure. Just a little tip. Okay, so once you've set up all this stuff, you just click next, and it's going to take us to the next stage. So this is choose your theme. Now, the ones that I've set up for you as test ones are using this Azurite, and the reason being is it's really simple. There's no frills or spills. You can highly edit them as well. It's all using the page builder, and we have 3 different templates in here. You can preview them as well. So if you click in here, you can preview what they look like. You can see that that's the kind of register page. It will kind of run through these, and you can click to the thank you page down there. And you can click that as well and go through it. I'm rolling the mouse to get it to go through. So it gives you a preview. I prefer it to just stay solid, if I'm being honest. It drives me nuts because it goes up and down. And that's the replay page there. Watch the replay. So you can pick those. You can then go back to previous. So you can look, previous, all right, sorry. go forwards. So you can preview them in there, see if you like them. I'm going to choose the basic one because it's really easy and quick to set up. It hasn't got all these colors because you've got to change all these colors and all these other bits with these other ones. So I choose the basic and we just click finish. So what happens now you've chosen your template style, the system's going to generate all the pages for you. So it's going to generate the register page, the thank you page, a waiting page, and the replay page. And you can just go into Page Builder and just start to build these out. So I'm just going to go into edit this page and just have a quick look at it. I'm not going to style it and edit all these pages. We've done lots on Page Builder already. So you can just use your Page Builder skills to kind of fill it out. I'll just show you what my ones look like. They're very simple. I've just changed the colors to kind of red and black. So here we go. So you'll notice straight away that we have the name or the live class topic. That's what we typed in. It also gives you the time zone as well. So it's set up these dynamic blocks. It's automatically going to set up a countdown timer based off of this. So if you go back and edit this countdown timer would also update as well. It gives you a little thumbnail dynamically generated again from the thumbnail that you created. And then it also creates another dynamic block for the live classes. We do have access in here to do a few things. So you could come in and play around with the row setting and in here. So like, for instance, if I go and grab a background image, choose something like that and put a bit of an overlay on it or this and change that a little bit lighter, suddenly you've got a completely different look. I can also come into these blocks and change them a little bit as well. So I can come in here and I can come into this one, change that maybe to a black or something. Okay, you could also change that font size in there. Yeah, so you've got control, but it's very basic. Again, button control. So you've got in here, you can't change where the button goes because it registers, so you can't change that, but you can certainly go ahead and change things like the color if you want to, and all these sort of things in here, just to get it into that kind of branding for you. You can also go ahead and put an extra block at the top of the bottom, or you could, if you wanted to, you could completely replace this. You know, you could delete it out, create your own timer, and put the date in, and you could set up all the different blocks that you wanted to. You could put a video in there if you wanted to. So you've got full flexibility of leaving these blocks in or deleting them out. I advise, if you're only started using the system and haven't run any lives, just keep it with the default. It's just going to be better. So of course, click save, and that's how you do it. And obviously set your SEO up as well. Okay, really, really important SEO on every page. So that is that. So I'm going to jump back here, just have a look at the thank you page. So I'm not going to go in and style, I'm just going to take you through the process. So you've got there, as soon as they've registered, they're going to be sent to this, which is the thank you, to giving them the class, the live class join URL. They can click go and go to that. This is the waiting page that we have here. So it gives you the countdown. You know, you guys were on that a while ago. You're probably waiting for it to hit 0 before you entered the class. That was that page. And then you've got the replay page here. So if you're not showing a replay, you're in automations, you're not going to send out a link to the replay. And then they won't get to this page anyway. But as a good rule of thumb, you should go in and edit this page. If you're not going to show a replay, put a note on there saying you're not showing a replay. All right, because then it makes it clear if someone accidentally finds this page, then they're going to see no replay. You could also put a link in there back to your home page, whatever you like, really. And you can see here the default replay page has grabbed the offer now. So this is set up for if you've got someone coming in and you've done this and you're sending a replay link out to them, they go in there and they say, oh, there's a special offer, I've got 50% off, or I've got 10% off a course, and then you can get them to buy into the course that way. So that's why this offer is here. Again, you can remove it, you don't have to have it. So you can go into here, you can take this button and you can delete it out if you want to, or you can add your own in there as well. So you can go into this and I could add another row in here and then drop extra text into here. And you can see you can do everything that you can do with the page builder. Just be careful. I mean, with this replay page, there is no dynamic blocks. So we give you a video placeholder in here. So if you're not showing it as a replay page because you don't want to, you could just go in here and put a note in here, no replay, and then just save it. They haven't got to replay them. So that is how to set it up, and that's it. That's all you have to do. So if I now just come out of these and we have a look, just closing, they've all been saved. So I'm closing them down. So I'm going to go back to lives, going to go to live classes, and you're going to see that new one that we just set up a second ago is in there. All right. So I'm going to delete that out because we don't need it. And I'm going to show you what I've done for these and a speed saving tip for you. So I have these classes here, these live classes, and I'm going to go into them. They're all pretty much the same. The only difference is this course page, all right? This thumbnail here. So if I go in and look, little eye icon, that means that they're secret. Okay. So if you check the secret, it shows on there. You can see which one's a secret. So let's go into a live one. Let's go to edit. And I'll just take you through this page. So it's basically what we did before when we were creating it. You can see I've got live class, I've got the time, I've got the time zone, I've got the URL, which I could change. Okay, could change something in there if I wanted to. Maximum attendees, the duration, 30 minutes. Enrolled in course, I've got that checked. I haven't touched anything in here. If I go to pages, you're going to see I've just set my pages up. So I'm going to quickly jump through these pages. So that's the first page. And the second page we got there, thank you page, as they go through to there, all very simple. Got the waiting page, like that. And finally, we got the replay page, which you're going to see no replays. Okay. So that is the process through the pages. What we haven't talked about is automations. Now, like everything else in Zenler, we have automations driven behind the scenes. So I have set these up in automation. So you guys from last week will be familiar with all the automations. They do vary slightly from area to area, such as like funnels. We've got slightly different things to courses and to lives. But the way that it works with the rules and the actions is exactly the same. So it's really quick to pick up once you get the idea. So let's, like last week, let's hit the edit button for the automations. And I'm just going to go through what I've done. So on register, so when someone registers, the automations start. They start sending out the emails that you've got in this first part. So we look in there, 0 days from registration. It's going to send out from me, best email practices from the domain I'm sending from is the email address I'm sending from. Okay, haven't got a Gmail address in there, haven't got a different email address in there. I want this to get through. The first mail subject says you have successfully registered. Okay, and then we have the mail content. So it says hi, and then it says their first name because you've got a personalization in there. You've successfully booked a spot on the live class by, and then it says Surf Dudes because it's live class host, and then it's topic, whatever it's called, when, whatever time you set, the join link so they can join. And it also says, please add it to the calendar. You're going to see that we have attach calendar event on there as well. And just like any other automation, you can send a test and you can also preview it in here as well. So you can preview it and you can see what's happening. Okay, so you can send a test there. We've got more advanced filters down the bottom. And that's it. So then after that's gone out to them, they've got that email. We're then going to go into 1 hour, and all of these, you can add to these all the time. You can add another action. So if I wanted to go in there and I want to be notified, I could click there, notify admin. You know, I could add a tag to them as they come in. I could also remove a tag. So you can send a mail, which is what this one is. So you can add these new actions. So these are rules, yeah, which you can set up in here. And these are actions. And on here, we have on register again, because you'll notice the only rule we have here is on register. In some of the other ones, we have more options. But on here, we have the next one, which is down, which is said send mail 1 hour before 1 hour's scheduled time. So this mail will go out 1 hour before the scheduled live. This one down here will go out 1 day. If we look at this, you can see it says reminder, live class starting 24 hours. And then it just goes through this. Okay. And the next one here is the same, but it just says 1 hour. Now, something to pay attention about here is I haven't actually written in here the class name or any of that stuff. And the reason that I've done this is because it can be a time-saving thing. Now, I created one live that you're seeing now. And to create other lives that are going to be exactly the same, I just cloned them. Now, if I had have actually put something in here like live class 2 or something into this subject line and down here, then what will happen is that all of the ones I clone will have that, and I'd have to manually go in and edit it. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to save myself a little bit of time by actually just putting it as a generic title, because it doesn't matter inside the actual mail content itself. You've got the live class topic and live class join link that are being pulled from the personalization of that thing. So if you set a new one, you clone it and then you label a few things, you can straight away just use the automation. So it means that for all of these live classes that you've seen made up in there, I haven't had to go and rewrite out any of these mails because they've just been set up with it, as well as the pages and the design. Because you'll notice that in the pages just uses the course block. So I can clone it and it's going to be, well, it's all done. I can just clone it and I can go in, just change the thumbnail, change the title, and that's it. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. So that is the automations. Now, like I said, some people go really complicated with the automations. It's up to you. I would suggest if you're first doing this, build on it slowly. Just do a 1 hour or 1 day before, 1 hour, and a welcome one to send them out. Always do a test. So do a test one. If it's all working okay, clone it and set the right time and date and all those things. Definitely do tests. So I'm going to run into showing you how we can clone the courses and set another course up really, really quickly. So let's go into live class here. I'm going to pick one of these. Doesn't really matter which one. I'll just choose this one here. Actually, I'll use this one-to-one session one. So I'm going to go in here and it's exactly, they're all kind of exactly the same as each other. And I'm going to hit the clone. Okay. So it's going to straight away ask me, when do I want to schedule this for? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select the date. Let's make this September the 1st and let's make it at 12 AM and click clone. It's going to ask me for the time zone. I'm going to type London. I'm going to set how long this is for, 1 hour. So I give myself 1 hour 15. I'm going to click clone. And there we go. And now let's have a look at these. So this has been set up. So I've just set up the time. See how quick that was. So I've set this time up. It's put the time in there. So I need to just make sure that that's all tying up with this. So because I've got a different date here, this is the only bit I really need to change. I need to set this to the right time in here. So I'm going to go 12 and I'm going to say, what do we have? Something like that. Then I'm going to just take this here, copy it. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to paste it and I'm going to click update. And there you go. It set that up for me. So that was the only bit I had to change. Now, of course, if this is one-to-one sessions, I don't need to change this. I don't need to change it because it's still using the same course card. But if I do need to change it, I could just click change, and then I could select the one that I want, and I could click upload, and it would be done. So really quick. So this is because I've made these generic. I won't have to change too much. So I'm going to just flick through the pages now and show you what we've got with this new date, the setup for this time. We're going to go to preview this page, and this is what it's set. So it's there 12th, 1st December, because that's all dynamically generated from the title, from the date and the time set, and it's also pulled in this. I don't need to touch it. Also inside this one, the thank you page, again, it's all generated, so I don't need to touch that either. And if I go to the waiting page here, again, don't need to touch that. It's all generated. And lastly, the replay page, which has got nothing on it. And that's it. And what about my automations? Well, I can come into the automations here, and because I've made them generic, I can come into them here, and I don't have to touch this, just pulling in the right data across here. I've also, in this course, I've got a notify admin as well. So I've put a notify admin. So I just put some personalizations in there using the notify admin button there. Okay. And you can notify, for you guys that are using VAs, or you've got people working for you, as long as you make them not a student, and you make them like a manager or something, you can pick them from here. So you could send an email to those people notifying them if they're doing work on your course for you. If you want one sent to them and one sent to you, just make sure that you set up another notify admin. If I just go and do it here. Let me just clone it. So let's put notify me and register mail, click clone, and there it is there. Notify me, and then I would just select that one. Yeah, so you've got two. Let me just save this, and we'll make it live at the same time. So we got one going out to there, and we got one going out to there. So I've set that. So someone registers, notify to your VA, whoever's working for you, manager, and also another one flies out to you. Then we follow the trail as before. We go to 1 hour before, and it starts to send out the mail to the enrollee. They get that 1 hour before, they get that 1 day before, and then I think there's another notify. There's another notify admin, but I don't really need that. I probably delete it out like that. And that's it, set up. So I didn't have to add this. I could have just added this to the master template. But you saw how quick it was there. Probably to run through those would take probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So by using a template, one that you've already got, that you don't even have to use, you could set that date miles in the future and just use that as a master template to generate your live sessions. All right. So the same thing applies for your live webinars as well. So I've got live webinars in here, and you can do exactly the same thing. You can come in here, clone them, change that. These have all got different course images. So you probably want to change the course image out. And what you're seeing here is exactly what I do for Sunday Lives. So my Sunday Lives, you'll see the replay page, and those things are a little bit more stylized. There's blocks down the bottom. So I spend a little bit more time, but this will work. This is simple. It'll work really quickly. You better clone those blocks out. You don't have to spend a lot of time, and you can produce a series of them. So if I had, I was booked, and I say that every day at 9 a.m. In the week, Monday to Friday, I want to hold one-to-one sessions. I could start setting out all my blocks inside there, and then you can pull them straight into the live class block that you see. With all those things here that inside here, and it would pull those in automatically, and people could just book them. So let me go to that. There we go, and you can see that new ones come in there as well. Yeah, so really quick, time saving thing to do. So what I want to do now is I want to just jump into this new feature that we've got in here, because what we've done is we've enabled this live webinar, live class block to allow people to book their spots straight away. So this saves a lot of trouble, because if people have already registered and bought the course, they're going to get these blocks come up and they can just click them straight away. So they can click it and they're registered straight away. And then, of course, once they register, your automations, your email automations from your lives will start going out to them. So that's it. That's all there is to it. So you can set up these series of lives for kind of a membership live page. You can use the calendars to bring in there. You could switch this over to one-to-one sessions, which I'm going to show you in a second. But I need to ask you if there's any questions, because I know there's quite a lot going on there. So guys, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I think what you just said, tell me if I've got this correctly. I was presuming before that my students would have to register for every lab. Like I would run, say, 7 labs in a course. And so they would have to register for every live class, which is a lab. But what you just showed was they don't actually have to go through that registration process. They just say, book my spot on each of the labs.
Yeah, absolutely, John.
Okay.
That's the thing. This new thing now replaces it. It was a big ask by you guys. You said you wanted sort of one-click registration. That can be turned off. Now, remember that what we've done so far is we've put it into a course. So only people that are registered or bought the course, they're already ready. If they're seeing this page, they've logged in. So the system has their details. Yeah. Now, if you did a live webinar and you took it out of the private area, you're basically opening it up to anybody. I could turn up without registering. I could see it and I could click it, and then I'm going to get the box pop up and it's going to say, register your details, put your name, put your, all this stuff to get on there, your name and your email, so that you can register for that live. But because they're inside a course, they can only see this page if they are logged in. So the system then allows you to book your spot. Now, inside these new live blocks, you also have the ability, and this is the reason that you have the ability to turn off one-click registration. All right. So as I mentioned, you'd want to turn that off if you've got a live webinars, like free live webinars for anybody who rocks up kind of thing. You'd want to turn on registration because you want them to register. You can't assume that they are going to log in and then they're going to click the button. But we can say for certain that if someone's seeing this page inside, they're seeing the main page that they've gone through and bought. One thing's for certain, they're logged in. So you can then activate the one-step registration there. So you could actually do that because they are logged into the system. Yeah.
But we don't yet have where they could click once and log in for all 7 labs.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, but they've only got to click a button,
yeah.
So it's okay. Like that. You'll probably find that people do it anyway. And then in the ideal world, you'd want them to turn up. Unfortunately, they don't all turn up. They're probably like click, and it's literally 2 seconds, John. To do this is like 2 seconds. Let me just log in incognito, and then I can just sort of show you. So I think I'm on. Let me just log in here, and I can show you. Okay. This is a test. Always run tests. That's our mantra, isn't it? So it's going to ask me boats. There we go. Okay, so let me go to my courses and let me go to that one. Okay, so this is me logged in incognito. You can see I've already registered for that one. So it also tells you if you've already registered for it. So let me just register for this, and there we go. That's registered. Opens up as a new page, but it's registered. Remember, as soon as I've registered, the automations are flying out now. So it tells you. So that's how quick it is. It'll take you to this page, which you can then close down, and then you're going to see that it's registered on here. Now, every time I return, I'm going to see that these are registered. So it's as simple as that. Is that answer the question?
Yeah, and something you just said, all of the automations go, so all of the reminders or, thank you for registering and so on. So they're going to get like, so my example of 7 labs, they're going to get 7 times whatever the automations are.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's for each individual one. They might wish that they've not clicked all 20 of your your lives. They will be like, well, that serves you right for trying to register for everything. So it does.
I want them to register for, because I want them to register and I want them to get the reminders, right? But I don't want to send them a book of, here are your tickets for the next season.
I see what you mean. Well, that's the problem. It's sending out automated the URLs where they're going to go to watch the live. We can't stop the automations, they have to run. But that doesn't mean that you can't put, remember, this is the course access page, so you can put whatever you like in here in the main page. You don't have to be, just because I'm showing you that I've got this as a very simple page, it doesn't mean that you can't come into the page. Let me just get out of these and go in and edit. It doesn't mean that we can't put a note on here. Would be a good idea. Like if you register for multiple lives, you will get a series of emails for each live. So, but let's hold on. Let's sort of think about this a bit. Maybe instead of putting on in automations, instead of putting on enroll, so 0 days, you send them a mail. What about just send them a mail a week before? So they don't get an email. So when it reaches a week before the live event, then it sends a mail. So that would work.
Could you also use just one live class and rerun it? Because I know, like, for each of these classes, it gets a different Zoom link. And that's why we got to go through this. You're talking about
reoccurring lives. That's coming up. That I think will be the next release that we do. We actually are, I can't go into too much detail and I might be wrong here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think we're gonna have the ability to actually put the live into the curriculum as a reoccurring live.
Yeah.
So that'll open up. There's quite a lot of work to be done. This is the first iteration of it. So reoccurring lives is something that's definitely on the thing, but it's not there yet.
Okay, I guess what I was thinking is that, like, a live that you've got here, in fact, if you go back to your lives, rather than cloning them and making 7 lives, I would use one, and then each week I would go on and say, okay, the time is this. What I'm trying to do is reuse the link that was already established.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's not going to work though, because I'm not sure it'll let you do that. I know people have been trying to hack for ways of being able to do this, but you're not going to have to wait too long, and then we're going to have reoccurring lives anyway. Okay. So you can try. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, if you just got one session that you're doing, you could just have one session on the page instead of having like these 4. You could just have one each week, and then when this one's finished, you could then activate. If you've already made like 5, you could have made 4 of them secret, and then when that one finishes, you could then activate the next one, so not make it secret, and then that would pop up. And that's something I need to tell you, is as soon as a live has run and finished, it will not appear in here. Okay, so it disappears from the list. So as you're going through it, they drop off. So they'll drop out of this dynamic block. And it might be a good idea to give people access to like a back catalogue. So you could, underneath this block, you could create another block saying this was a live we run then, and then put the video in there, drop the video in there as a block. But you can put additional information in here. It's like if I wanted to, I could go in and drop, you know, I could drop another block in here, and then I could put some additional information all in here, telling people that they will receive a series of emails. So, you know, you could any of these. And I could drop more information in here, giving information on here. So you're not stuck with what I'm showing you here. You can basically create as long a page as you want. And what we're looking at now is upcoming live events. Now, remember, I've picked the live event block here because of this ability of being able to select registered users on the site, but also be able to select people from a course. And that ties up really well with what we're doing here, because people have come through, they've bought the course, the membership or the one-to-one session, and then they've gone to that page. So you can then say when you're running the live class that you only want people that have bought from that course. So that's why I've stayed away from the webinars. But we also have a webinar block. So inside here, you're going to see that we have this new webinar block, and I've set up some webinars. You saw them, I jumped into them. But if I drag that, this works in exactly the same way. But unlike the other one here, where we've got it in the course access page, this one, if you're using it as a webinar inside the course access page, that's fine. You can leave one-click registration on, okay, because they're already logged in, like we mentioned. But it brings up the webinars in there. But if you have this block or the live class block for registered users, you're probably going to, in any other page that they haven't paid for, such as the course access page, so if you've got it on the home page, if you've got it in any other pages, you're probably going to want to click the gear icon for the block and come over here to settings and turn off the one-click registration. And what that will do then is it will throw up the registration form. So they have to put their name and their email address in. So if outside of someone being logged in, you want to turn that off, okay? That's really important. And you have the same option for the live classes down here as well. If we click there, you can see that it's the same, yeah? So that's a really big one, but you can use the webinar blocks as well as the live class blocks if you wanted to. Again, look at the PDF, see what the purpose is and what's going to work for you. And as I mentioned before, always run a test to make sure it all works. So, guys, have you got any more questions in there? I get worried if there's no questions.
Yes.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi. Sorry, can I go first? I've got loads of questions actually. I'm quite confused because I'm doing lots of things with live outside Zenler at the moment, and I want to bring them all into Zenler. And they're all different purposes, and I'm sort of trying to work out whether they're going to be in courses or not, on webinars or classes. And so one very clearly is going to be a class, because that's an 8-week course with one live every week. So that would be a class. But then I do a one-off introductory, a 2.5-hour webinar, and like an introductory class. And I'm not sure if that would be a web, and it's very live, it's very interactive. And then I've also got a free weekly drop-in where people can come and tap for, it's since COVID started, it's where they can come and do the EFT tapping on whatever stress is going on for them. And I always need to know who's going to turn up. So I'd have to have the registration, and should I do it all within a course, set up a course for it, or just have them register for a webinar somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. So that's an interesting one. For the free one, you could set up a course and you could put on there as a payment plan free. And then it can be in there. And you could, once it's run, you could then put a new one in there, so it drops in there. The problem is that at the moment, because we've only got like secret, and we've only got that one button that's secret, so you can only turn them off. This is what I was saying to you earlier. Because this is exactly what you want, because you're running different live events for different things. You're going to want a system where you can select a category for that dynamic block to show from that category. And we haven't got that yet. So as a workaround, what you could do is you could use live classes for one, and then you could use live webinars for the other. So maybe do the webinar for the free course, then you can drop the block in there and you can keep replacing it. And the other one you can use for the paid for courses. Now, what makes it more complicated to review, Jackie, is that again, if you're running multiple live classes, they're all going to show, and you want to split them away as well. So in that case, you're probably going to want to manually set up a block that goes to the registration page.
Right.
It's not going to work with the one-click registration then. So it's a hard one to figure out. What I would do is I try and plan it, write it all out, plan it all out, how you see it working, like that's free, because you could, like I said, you can do a free course, but you could also just put it on the home page, a bit like I do. I send out the invite to these Sunday lives. So it's on there. I could just put that on the home page at tutorials.zenler.com. Now I've got it on there. Let me show you, just in case. You'll see here, this is the home page. So you see any workshops, I can drop into there, and then I put a register link, and people can click straight through to this.
Right.
So that could work. But you don't get access to that one-click registration. But Jackie, it is coming. We are working more on this. So we have to find a solution. Maybe send me a PM with your exact requirements.
Right, will do. Yeah, because I'm just sorting out, and presumably you don't have to use the dynamic block. You could create your own blocks and choose which ones to put in there.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that we have that one-click registration that's built into the actual block. So you can't one-click registration without using that dynamic block. But it is
that wouldn't matter too much for the free one.
No.
And when they register, can you tag them so you know where they've come in?
Absolutely. You can easily do that, because remember, we have automations. So with the beauty of automations, we can go into any of the lives, and as I sort of mentioned, remember, I'm going in live classes, but it's also for live webinars. If we go and edit this, you'll see my screen. So if we go into automations here, you can just come down here. Let's edit this, and we can add a tag for this particular course. So I can go in here, add a tag, and then I could call that tag new user and hit enter. Like that. And I can just save that off. So I've added a tag there. I click save, and I can action it and apply to existing students. This is important as well.
Right.
So I click yes to that, and there it is. So that is now, that will be tagged. Any user that signs up for this will have this tag to be able to filter them. So yeah, good question. All right.
Right, thank you. I'm getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these features they're adding much more. They always bring out this first iteration, and we expect like to have a load of questions like, oh, but I wanted reoccurring lives and I wanted this, and we get all these questions coming. And but we like to release things as we've got stuff ready. So if you want to use it now, good. If you don't, if you want to hold off using it until we've got more features built into it, then that's fine as well. But it's quite powerful.
It's got to be better than what I'm doing at the moment, which is sending everyone individual emails that I do myself. So any automation is going to be better than that. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you've got the automation in there, so you can use it. It's good. I think like such a big one is reoccurring lives. That's going to be the game changer, I think, because that's a big one. People have asked for that. It's harder to implement than you would think. You know, you think flick a switch and it'll work, but it doesn't. So yeah, any more questions?
Yeah, Donna had a question about sending a replay to all registered users, even if they didn't sign up to attend the live.
Sending a replay. Yeah, I mean, you can, that's easy to do. That's really easy. Sorry, Linda, I'll come back to you in a second. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to send a replay to people, this is what I do. I mean, people say, oh, can I see a replay of the thing? I'm not going to be able to attend. And I say, well, just sign up because you're going to get a replay for it. And all you need to do is, you can see here, is this particular live hasn't got a replay. Do you remember I put no replay available? But I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. You just need to, I'm just going to come out of these. It's asking me to save it. I don't want to save it. Okay. So all I need to do is to get to the replay link is to send a mail out. So under here, I'm going to go to send mail, and there's our mail. And I'm going to go after the event, and we're going to set a time. So if I've got this event on a particular day, I could say on a day, and then I can select it because I know, you know, I've set this up. I know when this is going to happen. So I can set a day afterwards. This is exactly what I do for the workshops we're doing now. I'll set one out for tomorrow and it will go out at 4 o'clock. The reason I do that is because in the morning I process the video that I'm recording and I need to upload it on there, and I don't want the mail going out before it's uploaded. So I have to set a time afterwards. So I can go in here and I can set a time. You're going to see this will automatically pop up with here, and then I can go, right, okay, well, I want it a day after that. So I'm going to put it there. And I can set a time that it goes out. So now I'll set a time. So now what I need to do is write my email to someone. And all I do in here is I put replay link can be found here. And then I just need to set the link up. And the link's really easy because we've got pages here. So for speed, another little tip, right click pages and open link in new tab. So what will happen is it'll open a new tab, but I won't lose this page. Okay, I do this a lot. I often right click open link to open pages. So I'm not dropping back to pages. You know, I have to then open it. And it's especially bad with the editor. You know, if it's taking a long time to load, I don't have to reload it. I don't have to jump back out, jump back in. So once I've got that page up there, I jump down to the replay, copy the URL, jump back to the email, select it here, add a link, insert link, drop the link in, click insert, and of course add all my other pleasantries in there, click save, and time zone required. It's going to ask me a time zone, so I'm in London. There we go, and save that. Oh, subject as well, sorry guys. Put what you like, replay here. So, and we'll make it live, apply to existing people, haven't got anybody. So that's it. So that would now go out. That it's called untitled there, but I could rename this and call it replay. Okay, just to make that.
This is going out to anybody who registers. I think Donna's question was if somebody has not registered, can we send them the replay link?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, to send them you have to do it manually because obviously they're not registered, they're not on the system. So you'd have to come in here and, you know, you could post it to social media, copy that replay link and put it into your social media. Do make sure that you've SEO'd all these pages. Otherwise you'll get the default kind of computer screen with blue on there coming up. So make sure you add your course image to that. So remember that you can go into the SEO settings of every page. Going to jump into this now, and you will put the SEO for that. So I do SEO for these workshops on Sundays. So the most important SEO page is the register page. The other pages, they're only getting to them through that page. So I just put replay page, thank you page, waiting page. I don't really do a lot of SEO on them. But if you come into the page, go to SEO, then you can type what you like in there. Put your keywords, all your keywords are separated by a comma, then the next keyword, comma, and then word, and then a space, next comma, so like that. And then, of course, you can pick your social image in here as well. So you pick one of or upload your image, and that's how it's going to appear on social media. If you don't do this and then you post that replay link, then it's just going to give us the generic Zenler block thing. So you want to make sure that you SEO your pages, right? Can't say that enough, especially when we move into more of the marketing workshops and stuff. All right. So I think that's it. Are we all kind of clear on that? I hope I'm not. If I don't get any questions, then I'm kind of like, have I lost you? And you're not saying anything.
There's lots of questions in the chat.
David.
Right.
Hi. Hello, David. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Martina. I've just got Linda wanted to ask a question before you, and I'll come back to you, Martina.
So actually, you did answer the question about the replay, because I was wondering where that was, and I see now, just created. But the second question then I have actually is an answer to John's question about the multiple classes, because I have the same issue, right? I have like 4 class sessions. So I was thinking the welcome email that goes out, you can turn off the 3 and just do the first one and have more information in there. And then for each subsequent class, you'll get the 1 day and 1 hour. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That way.
The only problem is if you've got if you've turned off automations for some of the other workshops, then and they, because it's one-click registration, and you don't click on that master one, then they're not going to get any emails.
I see. Okay. All right. So that may not solve it, but usually it is 4 classes in a row. And they have to do the first one. But if they don't, if it's like open enrollment, you're right, David.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have a solution for you, Don.
Yeah. I mean, I might come up with something. That's the problem with this job and jobs in general. I can't relax from it. My mind's always going. So I'll probably have a dream about it tonight, and I'll come up with something for you, Linda. So if I do,
but actually for John too. But I like this because right now I just put buttons to links to my live classes in my course. So this is spectacular. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, brilliant. Martina?
Yes, David, thank you. This is great, really great. My question is this. I had questions before trying to find a workaround how to combine a regular class with a live class. So I had the first one on Thursday last week. I did run into a little difficulty. But my question is this: since I already have this existing course, I cannot get rid of the course and just use the live webinars that you were showing. Is there a way? I mean, I think there is by what you're explaining, but am I able to add the live class into the existing course that I have?
Yeah. Well, did you? What do you want to put it into? Yeah. If you've recorded it. Have you recorded it?
Yeah, no, this is so that, because it's a total of 4. So 1 live class is already, I used the live webinar to conduct it, but I have 3, and the next one is this Thursday on the 3rd. So rather than going through the process before of having to send out links and everything else, no, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what John was saying.
Yeah,
trying to use the same. This is why I said to you, I think the reoccurring lives is going to be just so good for you because you can change it. Or if you could set the URL to be the same, it doesn't let duplicate URLs. Maybe if I'm going to run some tests, because I don't know, but I think that if you've got that URL, so let's say the URL says 123, okay, and you run a live. I'm not sure because I need to test it, but I think that if I'd run that live and recorded it, if I then deleted it out, then I should be able to, if I cloned it first, so I've got a copy, then I deleted the original one out, then I went back into it and called it 123, would it then become the same link? I need to run a test, but I think that we might be able to.
Okay.
So I don't know, John, have you tried that?
David, when you run that test, if one thing that you could test is You set up your live class for 15 minutes from now, run it, start it. You'll get the URL at the top for the class with success tagged onto it. If you send that link with success, people can just log into the class when you run it again, and all you have to do is you just reset the time.
Yeah, that's a hack.
That's a hack. Yeah.
Yeah, because if what I'm talking about is the URL. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll have to run some tests, Martina, I think.
Okay, thank you, David.
If you set up a recurring live in your ProZoom account, can you then import the link for that?
Yeah. If you're using Zoom Pro, I mean, our goal at Zenler is for you not to have to, but there are certain situations at the moment where, like you said, like keeping a URL or a reoccurring event that you could set up in Zoom Pro account, then that's the perfect way, because once you've got the URL, you don't need to use the live feature of Zenler. You can actually just put that into the course access page and work with your Pro account. So that's absolutely fine. But we want to get to the situation where you don't have to have a Pro account, and reoccurring lives is a big one.
Yeah. So when you say just put that URL into the course access page, whereabouts? So that wouldn't be within a live, it would just be as part of the course curriculum? Or?
Yeah, you'd make a block up. So you could do it with a simple button, or you could make a block up. So where at the moment we've got in our courses, we're accessing some of the live class dynamic blocks. So inside here, so I'm just checking the time because I've got to make sure I get through all this stuff. Under page, if we go down to the course access page here, we're going to see that I've put the live class dynamic block in there. But if you've got that link already, you can create a little block. So when it's finished, okay. So pretend I've deleted this block out. So I could come in here, I could go to all blocks, and then I can just go into a row. I'm going to choose something like that. And I'm going to add another row at the top. Something like that. Yeah, this is, sorry, I'm doing this really quick, but then I can add a button in there, and then I could link it. Yeah, so you could have more blocks. So that's how you could do it. You could then, you could put some little bit of type in there as well if you wanted to. So you could add something like a little text block in there as well to say what it is, and then in there. So you're basically creating your version of this sort of thing.
Right.
And then it goes straight through. Okay. And remember, this is course access page, so they paid for it. So they're in there. Yeah. And then they can go through to.
Or if it's free.
Your link, yeah.
If you wanted to put in a PDF as well, sorry, it's a bit off topic, but I'm just wondering how I'd do that. Was that another block or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this doesn't have to be going to the webinar. You could go in here, so you could go to your.
Yeah, I probably want both. So.
Yeah, well, you go to site, you go to media library in here. You could then upload a PDF. You can grab the URL here, which you click and save it. That's the media library. We're going to cover this in membership, by the way. So because we do downloadable products and physical products. So I don't want to cover it too much, but you can basically then put that link on the button.
Right. So that's media library.
Yeah, media library. Yeah, so you can upload it there. But the key thing here is the course access page, because this is going to be really important later on when we do multiple membership pages that all link together. So that's that, I think. Right, now what I want to do, I have to move on really quickly with another part which is inside my lives. Just trying to get my head together. Let's just turn this off and get back. Right. Okay. So, right. Under my live classes, we've seen that we've set all these up and you know how that all works. But under our live webinars, I've also set in here these. So what am I talking about? Open Q&A sessions. Yeah, so I've got things like open Q&A sessions. So like Jackie, you were mentioning, like you want a session that's free. This is why I've set a webinar up here. So you could put that on the home page. So you can make all of these secret if you wanted to, and you could just show that one. And then the next week, you could then make that one, well, that one wouldn't show anymore because it's past date. And then you could make the next one live, so you could turn it secret. So then that would show. So that's how you could run free things using webinar. But the most important thing for paid, I think you take away anything from this workshop, is that you should be running it in a live. And you'll notice in here that I have these one-to-one sessions, and they've been marked off in here as private. So if I want to swap these around and I just want to run, I don't want to run equipment, I don't want to run pop-ups, I don't want to run this here, I can just go in and edit them and make them all secret. So let's go and do that. Let's go in here, make that secret. And little tip here, you can click here to get back, it's a bit quicker. And go into here. And edit that to not make it secret. And if you're running your one-to-one sessions, you can just turn one on and have a maximum attendee of one. Then you can manually add them to it. So if you have someone buy into the system, you don't even need to show anything on the course access page. You can just have this already set up, these one-to-one templates, as it were. And when someone buys, you're going to get an email notification. You're going to see them in the course, and then you can add them as a user. So you can go into registered users and, or you can add them, you can invite them here. So you can click this invite button, put their email address in, and then it will go off to them. Once they're invited and they go in, the automations kick off. So this is how you could run a one-to-one series. Now, when you look at the replay page after I've done this workshop, I'm going to put a series of videos in there, and these are all going to relate to what we're talking about today. So you have a full understanding of what I'm talking about, because I need to actually run this out as a tutorial. So I'm going to do it as a tutorial so it's crystal clear for you. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do for that. So that one-to-one session is how you can set that up using the live classes inside there. Also, if they sign up through it, you could say, you can use your pricing plan. So you might say, okay, I'm only letting a certain amount of people sign up between two certain dates. So you could also limit the way they're buying into your course. So there's loads of variations on how you could set these things up. You need to, it's like Jackie's version, how she wants things done is different to someone else's. It's good to hear these. So if you've got like maybe something I haven't talked about, or you found a solution to something, just send me an email, because it's really good to hear about them and see how people are using the system differently. So I'm just going to finish setting these ones up. I'm going to edit. I'm thinking about deleting them just because it'll be quicker. And let's go make that one secret. So I'm only going to be left with these two one-to-one sessions. And if we look at the page, that should be reflected in the page as well. So now I've done that, I can come into there and I should have two sessions there, one-to-one sessions. So if I go into the course now and we go to live surf sessions and we click the preview there, then there we go. I've got one-to-one session. Now remember, these one-to-one sessions, I've put the amount of 10 attendees 1. Okay, so if I've set 2 up, but I could set 20 up, And what will happen is if someone buys into this, they'll look and they'll try and book a session. But if someone else has already booked a session, they won't be able to. It will say, I haven't tested it yet. I've got to test this next. So there'll be a little bit of extra on the end of the video. I'm going to cut a little bit in of the video of the workshop now.
So this is the kind of cut-in video for this. Now, remember I was talking about one-to-one sessions, and I'm going to put this new video in here inside this replay so you can watch it. So this is where I didn't have enough time to do it in the workshop, so I can show you now. Now, as you saw in the last lesson, what we did was made all these other live classes private, so they're not actually visible. The only ones that are visible are these 2 live classes. Now, the difference with these is you're taking payment for one-to-one sessions, okay? So you only want one person at a time. They're paying for it, so they've got that time slot. So if you look under the edit here, these are both the same as each other, but you're going to see maximum attendees 1, okay? And then I've put the time. It's an hour session, but I've given them an hour and 15. All right, so that's the basis. That's the preface of it all, and this one's exactly the same. Again, it's only got 1 attendee in there. So again, so we're going to actually look at this, how this is actually going to work on the system as far as someone booking and inviting them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot back to our courses. That's where both of these are in. This will be clear in a second. I'm going to go to this live surf session workshop, and inside here you're going to find our pages, and I just want to show you a preview of the page. So our course access page is this, just showing these 2 lives, okay? So someone pays for it, they come in here, and then they choose which one they want to go into, okay? Now, the only thing that you have a problem with is that they might try to book both of them, okay? We don't want that, so we need to make some notification up here to make it clear that they can only book, they've only paid for 1 session, and that if they tried, they shouldn't book 2, but if they book 2 sessions, then you'll then remove them from the later session. You need to put a note in there. Unfortunately, there's no way of stopping that. Now, what you could do, of course, is to delete this one out, okay, or make it secret, and only let one book a session. The problem with that is if you have multiple people paying for it, you want them to be able to book in. Now, ideally, you know, the calendar is good because you can set it up. So like the calendar integration on this page is really good because they can book it and then you can send them. You can basically have these as secret courses, and then suddenly you could just turn it on and then they could go in and access it. You could just send them the URL and then access it. But this is just another way that it kind of works. So you might have to put a note on here to make it absolutely clear they've paid for 1 session, so do not book 2. Or, like I said, you can make this secret. When one of the sessions sells, you could then make that one secret and reactivate that one. So it's really up to you how you want to do. Just to make it easier for me to demo this, I'm going to leave them both on. I've already shown you in the workshop how to really quickly be able to regenerate these sessions by going to clone and just basically changing the date and time. Okay, and that's it, and then you've got a new session. And you can do that in roughly 2 to 3 minutes. You know, that's how quick it is to make these sessions up. Probably quicker than that, probably a minute, because you only need to change that text because it was all generic. So let's go and see how it's going to work and what's going to happen to the student. So I'm going to go into courses again. I'm just going to look at the pricing plan, and just to make it easier for myself, I'm actually going to change the pricing plan for this to free so I can just test it out. So I've gone into here, I've got this one-time purchase £100. I'm just going to delete this one out, and apologies, just go back. I'm going to delete this one out. I'm going to choose a new pricing plan. I'm going to make it free. Of course, you know, if it's paid for, they would have paid you for it. I'm going to come in and make this free. In here, I'm going to go free session. Okay, just to make it quick for me to register up. So there we go. So that is all set up now. So now I can just preview the course. So I'm going to go to the sales page. So this course is published, all right? So I need to go to that sales page. So a little tip to get to it quickly is you can go to preview on here. Of course, I'm not in incognito, but I want to be. So I then take this, copy it, and I can go in. I don't have the question mark preview on. That's for admin. I just want this part here. Okay, copy, copy. go into incognito inside of Chrome, dump that in there, come in, and there we go. So we've got this live surf session. So I go free. I want to put my email address in here. So I'm going to choose me as a user, and I've already got a password for this user, and I'm going to click login. So that's logged me in now, and now I can enroll for free. It's going to ask me for my reCAPTCHA information, the traffic lights, and I'm going to verify that, and bang, I'm straight into the course. So it's going to say thank you, continue to course, and I'm going to see the 2 blocks come up. Now at this stage I can go, oh, I'd actually like to attend this one. So I'm going to click that, because I've got one phase registration on, is straight away registered me. So this is it. So what's happening back end? So someone's booked a session. Now all the automations are flying out that you've set up, telling them where to go 1 hour before, half an hour before, or whatever you set. You'll also, hopefully, if you set up a notify admin, you'll get an email saying that someone's registered as well. So from your point of view, what you need to do now is you just need to go and say that session's finished and booked, so I can come into live. And I can go into live classes now. That one's booked in there, and I'm going to go into the edit, and now I can just make this secret, and I can click update. So they're still going to get the emails, they're still going to be able to attend the live, but if you come back to this page and refresh, this one will no longer be here, and you've got the other one in there. So like I said before, you can have one at a time and just switch them over. So look, 2 seconds to do that. But now you have a user that's actually paid for your course. So you can see the users if we go into the live classes again, and we go into the secret course that's just been bought. I'm just going to go to edit, and you can go here to registered users, and you can see that there is your user all ready to go. And they will have the automations that you've set up sent out. So all you've got to do is rock up, start the class, and they will be in there and able to attend. So that's how you could do one-to-one sessions. So what of all these things, we played around with different things. You might use a bit of this, a bit of that to do it, but this is definitely one method that could work. And like I said before, if you don't want them to book, because accidentally they might book more than one session, thinking, oh, I've paid for that, so I'm going to book all the sessions that are in there. So you might want to make them all private. As soon as someone does it, go in there, make that secret, and then open up the next one so someone can come in. It's very unlikely that you're going to get a buyer come in and buy it, 2 buyers at the same time trying to buy. And if they do, they'll see that one's registered, you can't go into it, and another one is like that. So that's how that can work. Now if they try to, if you left it on there and someone's registered and someone else comes in and tries to register, they're not going to be able to. All right, so it's worth putting some sort of note on there, but this is another way of doing it. Until we sort out more sort of reoccurring lives and things on these live features, then this is going to be a workaround way of doing it that can work, but we are increasing the amount of features inside of lives going forwards into the future towards launch. All right, so that's how to do it.
And it will show it, because what I'm thinking here is if you've got a 1 attendee limit on a workshop, a live class, then it should be showing in there, instead of book a spot, it should be unavailable. I've talked to Rakesh about this, but I need to test that it's going to work. And if it says unavailable, it just means that you're going to have a lot of one-to-one sessions in here that someone buys into, and they can see the spots that are available. They can click book it, and then the next person that comes in says, oh, that's unavailable, because you've only got an attendee limit of 1. So I see this as being quite powerful for setting it up and selling blocks. Remember, as these run as well, they get knocked along. So if this actual workshop has already run, this one-to-one session, it would disappear from this page, and then the next one will come along. But using that speed saving technique that I showed you about cloning the template and then using the automations will really speed things up for you. So I think that is about it. I'm just going to have a look at that. Yeah, I've talked about calendar integrations. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm finished, and we are at 6:15. So we managed to cover it. Now, look, guys, don't worry. We're going to be running into the next phase of your training, and that is about memberships. So you guys have done loads of stuff now with me. You've done all the page builder. Hopefully you've done all like the forms and funnels. We've done the course creation, 4 parts to that, which was massive. And we've done this in one session. We will return to this because we're going to start setting up multiple membership pages that are interlinked. And I think you're going to love it because we're using bundles. So it's going to be the first time we've used bundles. At the moment, all we've done is just done standalone courses, but we're going to be creating multiple courses quickly by using a template, a bit like we did for the live webinars and live classes. So we're going to be basing everything off of one master course. The benefit of that is that you keep things very consistent through all your courses. And remember, to make a site look professional, you want consistency. You don't want them altering a lot because it confuses people. It's like that's a good reason why every week I send out my Sunday lives and I do the same thing. The format of the page is exactly the same. I don't touch it. You guys are registering for it and liking it, so I do not touch it. It's not to say that change isn't a good thing, but if I'm doing it for my website, I want to make sure it's consistent. So if I change one page, I'll change it in other places. So we're going to be using a course as a base, and then we're going to build in courses from it. We're going to take those courses, we're going to put them into a bundle, and then we're going to take that bundle course access page from the course bundle, and we're going to start linking between the courses. So it gives you access to curriculums in other courses and access pages from other courses, and people really won't realize that they are actually in maybe 7 or 8 different courses because you're tying them all together inside. It's going to be really exciting. It's probably going to run over 2, maybe even 3 weeks, as I need to make sure you understand this is like the sort of pinnacle of where we're heading with this. Once you understand this stuff, then all the stuff we've covered so far is going to be really easy for you. So guys,
can we make a request? There were several questions about using the Calendly type of thing. So maybe one of your tutorials could be how to integrate that.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, John, yeah, good one for picking that up. Yeah, I've done a video, quite an in-depth video on how to integrate Calendly into your system. So I'll put that in the replay. I was going to do that anyway. So that underneath the replay, you're going to get the main video, and then underneath it, you're going to find a series of videos. All of them, pick and choose. If you already know about Calendly or don't want to use it, then don't watch it. But they'll be underneath there just for your easy access. So there'll probably be about maybe four or five. They'll be quite short because there are Zenlers, or they might be pulled from the complete guide. But they're all pretty easy to follow. So any questions on it, of course, you know, I run these workshops every week, so you can pick me up. I'm going to do a live Q&A, but you know, it's like Jackie was asking for something from one of the, I was asking how to put a link or a PDF. I think it was Jackie. So like, I'll show you that. I don't mind. Just because we're on topic doesn't mean I won't jump off occasionally if it's going to help you answer your questions now. So that is about it. Now, next week I'm off. I've got my mum coming on next week, so I haven't seen her for absolutely ages. So I'm spending Sunday with her. So the workshop's going to run the week after. Okay. So, and it will be quite an exciting one because we're starting memberships. I'll try and get it up as soon as I can so that you guys can register. Because if you register, I might drip a little bit of content out for you to sort of like digest before we get into the actual course. So basically I can drip that out. You can have a look at that, and then the following week we'll do it. So what date is that? I think we'll be into June then. So next Sunday is the 2nd, so it'll be the 9th. Yeah, it'll be the 9th of June.
No, it's the 13th.
13th. Oh, is it? Right. Okay. yes, sorry. The 13th of June. Right, so that's when the next live's going to happen. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, great. So hopefully you learned something today. And, yeah, if I can think of anything else, it will be put into the replay page. But have a good rest of the weekend, guys, and thanks for turning up. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Thank you.